Hey, welcome back. So today, we're going to dive into a really powerful idea. This idea that the quality of our life isn't really determined by what happens to us, but by how we respond from within. We're going to explore how to master this inner game using some pretty timeless wisdom. All right, let's jump right in.
So let's start with this. We've all felt this, right? You chase a goal, you finally get that promotion, you buy the thing you've been wanting, and then what? That feeling of satisfaction, it's just gone in a flash. It really makes you wonder, if we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing, why does it so often feel like something crucial is just missing?
Well, the Dalai Lama just nails it right here. He says we're looking for happiness in all the wrong places. We're searching for an internal solution, peace of mind, out in the external world. But think about it. A new car isn't going to fix your anxiety, and a bigger title at work won't heal a broken relationship. The real work, the important stuff, it has to happen on the inside.
Okay, so this brings us to our first section, the outward search. And yeah, the subtitle says it all. It's the search that looks in the wrong direction. See, this outward search is kind of our default mode. When we feel bad, our first instinct is to try and change our circumstances. But what we're talking about today is all about flipping that on its head. We're going to explore a framework for building an inner foundation that's so strong you can stay centered no matter what the world decides to throw at you. So how do we actually do that? How do we build that inner foundation? Well, that leads us to section 2, choosing the right handle. This is a brilliant tool for any situation. Our first piece of equipment for this journey comes from an ancient Stoic philosopher, a guy named Epictetus. He offers up this simple but honestly profoundly practical mental model for navigating, well, literally any event you will ever face. And it all comes down to choosing the right handle.
So what does he mean by that? The concept is just beautifully simple. He says every single event has two handles, one you can carry it by and one you can't. Just imagine any situation, maybe some criticism at work, a personal disappointment, anything. Picture it like an object with two distinct handles. One handle is loaded with emotion, blame, and pain. It's heavy. The other one, it's grounded in context, in possibility. And which one you decide to grab, well, that determines everything about your ability to move forward.
Epictetus gives this really powerful example to make it concrete. Let's say your brother has wronged you. You have a choice. You can grab the handle of the injustice, right? And just focus on the pain and how unfair it is. But that handle is heavy. It's impossible to carry. It gets you absolutely nowhere. Or you could choose the other handle, the one that says, he is your brother. You focus on your shared history, the relationship itself. That is the handle that lets you actually move forward. Now, this isn't about ignoring the wrong, not at all. It's about choosing the perspective that makes a solution even possible.
And this ancient Arab proverb just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? The best answer comes from the person who is not angry. Choosing the right handle isn't about being passive. It's a strategic move. See, anger, resentment, feeling like a victim, all that stuff clouds our judgment. It literally shuts down the parts of our brain that are creative and patient and wise. So to find the best answer to any problem, we first have to put down that handle of raw emotion and pick up the one that gives us clarity.
Okay, so let's take this out of ancient Greece and see how it plays out in the real world. This next section is called The Game Beneath the Game, and we've got a lesson in office politics. The author Robert Greene shared this story from his own career that is just a perfect case study in what happens when you don't realize there's more than one game being played at the same time.
All right, so picture this. Robert Greene is 26 years old. He's a star performer in television. He's brilliant, and he is absolutely crushing it. He's outperforming everyone. His ideas are getting made. He's finding all the best stories. By any objective measure you can think of, he is winning.
But, and there's always a but, isn't there? His success had this unintended side effect. It made his boss, his supervisor, feel really, really insecure. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's being accused of having an attitude problem. Naturally, he gets defensive, right? Which, of course, only made things worse. And the whole thing spirals until he ends up quitting just before they could fire him. A total and complete disaster. And it apparently took him weeks to really process and figure out what on earth had just happened. He finally realized his mistake wasn't in his work. His work was great. His mistake was in his understanding of the environment. As he says here, I had gone into this environment thinking that what mattered was doing a great job. But in doing that, I had made this woman, my superior, insecure. He thought the only thing that mattered was being good at his job, and he was dead wrong.
And this gets to the absolute crucial point here. Greene was playing what we can call the merit game, where the best work is supposed to win. but he was totally blind to the power game being played right underneath the surface. A game of egos, of insecurities, of all these unwritten rules. And in the power game, how you make people feel is often way more important than the actual quality of your work.
This whole painful experience is what led him to formulate the very first law in his famous book, The 48 Laws of Power. Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. Now, this isn't about being a suck-up or being fake. It's about social intelligence. It's about understanding that to succeed in pretty much any human system, you have to manage the emotions and the egos of the people in it. You have to be able to see the game beneath the game.
So, being able to see these hidden games and choosing the right handle, this isn't just a one-time trick you pull out of a hat. It actually requires a pretty fundamental shift in our daily practice. This brings us to Section 4, Better, Not More. This isn't about doing more stuff, but about a disciplined focus on doing things better. It's all about quality over quantity, both in what we do and in our inner lives.
The philosopher Immanuel Kant asked a question that is more relevant today than ever. Given that knowledge is limitless and human life is not, what is essential to learn? I mean, think about it. We are swimming in an ocean of infinite information. We can't possibly consume it all, and trying to just fills our heads with noise and clutter. The real challenge, the real skill, is learning to discern what's truly essential, the kind of knowledge that actually builds wisdom.
Choosing what's essential also means actively rejecting what's not. I absolutely love this idea of becoming allergic to certain mindsets. Things like bad attitudes, complainers, apathy, and especially that disease of more. For example, if you develop an allergy to complaining, you just naturally stop focusing on the problem and you start looking for that handle that leads to a solution. It's like a physical allergy. You just learn to avoid the things that drain your energy and stop you from thinking clearly.
And this quote from Picasso provides the perfect antidote to what we call the disease of more. A life that's just focused on endlessly accumulating more stuff, more status, more everything. It's exhausting. But a life focused on discovering your unique gift, your unique contribution, and then sharing it with the world, now that is a life of purpose. It completely shifts the focus from getting to giving.
And this idea of enough isn't just some lofty philosophical concept. It's incredibly practical. Just take money, for example. Financial thinkers like Pete Adeney have shown that you don't need infinite money to be free. You just need about 25 times your annual expenses saved up. That's it. There is a finish line. The goal is sufficiency, which is actually achievable, not more, which is a horizon that just keeps moving away from you the closer you get.
All right, now we come to the final, and maybe the most challenging piece of this whole puzzle. We've talked about gradual practice, but there's also this moment of decisive commitment that's required, a truly fundamental shift in how you see the world and your place in it. This is Section 5, The Leap Across the Chasm.
The writer Anthony DeMello uses this really powerful parable about crossing a chasm. He says you can't do it in little jumps. And that's the key. All the daily practices we've talked about, choosing the right handle, observing the power game, focusing on the essential, they get you right to the edge of the chasm. But the actual crossing, the real commitment to living from the inside out, that's not gradual, that's a leap of faith.
And this really brings the entire philosophy together into 5 clear, actionable steps. Number 1, you begin inside, with that peace of mind we talked about at the very beginning. From there, you learn to observe reality clearly, without all the emotional distortion. Then, you choose depth over breadth, wisdom over trivia. Fourth, you play for contribution, not for credit. And finally, you make the leap. You commit fully to this way of being.
And this is where we're going to leave it today, with this final thought. Instead of seeing the future's uncertainty as some kind of threat, what if we saw it as the space where all outcomes are still possible? To enter it with grace is the ultimate expression of this inner mastery. It's about choosing the handle of possibility, not the handle of fear. It's about meeting whatever comes next with this quiet confidence that you have everything you need, right inside you, to handle it.